some skill. Hey, yo, skill. Listen here, Stephen A. Kobe Bryant, Melissa Bryant, Lakers in 5. Oh shit, let's get into it, dog.
An abuse lawsuit. Shannon Sharpe's legal counsel showed up, but the plaintiff's legal team, not so much. The surprise no-show raises some serious questions about the future of a case already loaded with explosive allegations and high-stakes drama. We are going to break down how all of this unfolded, what could come next.
Wait, hold the fuck on. Raw, what you say? Watch Reese pump fake wide open to just pass. Hey, look. Listen. as a watcher, as a fan, you sitting up there watching her. You see her do it. You see her do a wide open pump fake. Do a pump fake wide open. You just look like this. Like, shorty, what you pump faking for? You know what? There's a lot I've seen in my years of hooping. I've seen a lot of girl players do that. Like, why you pump faking for? Just go. There's nobody in front of you. There's nobody contesting you. Just go. Just go to just drive to the basket. Why the fuck you pump faking for? That shit crazy. Listen, did y'all see the clip where Angel Reese had the ball up top and she was waving everybody like, nah, I got her, bro. I got her, bro. Like, oh, ISO. Got the Kobe. Hey, ISO. She tried to drive that home, got straight ripped. He's like, bro, you did all that just to get ripped. You did all that to get your cookies took. That shit is wild to me, bro. And I'm like, who let her do that? Who let her do that? Oh, bro, that shit's funny as hell, dog. I thought she was gonna get a mean bucket, at least a little. Nah, I can't. Hey, bro, we can't say that. We can't say that word no more, fam. She trademarked it. She trademarked it. We can't say the word, bro. Unless you want to be coming out them pockets. I already accidentally said it earlier.
In a lawsuit that is tangled in celebrity controversy, and what we should be thinking about as we talk next moves for Shannon Sharpe. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. The first hearing in the explosive $50 million civil lawsuit against Pro Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe took an unexpected twist on July 9th, 2025, and that is when apparently no attorney representing the plaintiff showed up at the Clark County District Court out in Nevada. Unusual, potentially damaging. We're going to discuss that. But you have to start asking questions about the direction, maybe the stability of a lawsuit that's delivered more than its fair share of surprises since first grabbing the headlines several months ago. Now, before we dive into the latest developments, got to do a little bit of a rewind here. So the lawsuit that was filed on April 20th, 2025 by prominent Houston attorney Tony Busby on behalf of an anonymous woman in her 20s contains graphic allegations against the former NFL tight end turned media superstar Shannon Sharpe. And the complaint alleges that Sharpe engaged in what is essentially a pattern of sexual violence and psychological abuse during what began as a consensual relationship with the plaintiff, who, by the way, is apparently more than 30 years his junior. According to court documents, the plaintiff met Sharpe at a Los Angeles gym when she was just 19 years old, and the lawsuit claims that Sharpe, quote, incessantly pursued the young woman, demanding her phone number, eventually asking her to visit his home, and most disturbingly, possibly, is the filing alleges that Sharpe required this woman to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, before their first meetings, although this request is something she repeatedly refused. Now, the relationship, according to her, allegedly turned abusive, verbally screaming at or berating her, violent sexual episodes, control, but the most graphic allegation.
I know y'all don't believe that, right? Do y'all believe that? Be honest. Am I off? I don't believe it. I definitely don't believe it.
Described Sharpe allegedly sexually assaulting and raping her, including ignoring her screams and refusing to wear a condom. Now, the lawsuit also claims that Sharpe secretly recorded their intimate encounters, shared the videos without her consent. But maybe the most chilling aspect of this are the alleged threats that were captured in audio recordings that were released by Tony Buzbee. In fact, in one clip, a voice identified as Sharpe's can be heard saying, "If you say that word one more time, I'm going to bleep and choke the bleep out of you when I see you." Now, the woman, allegedly the plaintiff in the case, then can be heard saying she doesn't want that, while the voice resembling Sharpe responds, "Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter." So it becomes a question, do you take that literally or...
No, you don't. You don't take it literally, because y'all know what type of freak Shannon Sharpe is. You don't take it literally, because I'm pretty sure they were doing... Listen, they were some actors in the situation. You know, the whole BDSM race play type shit. That's what they were into. I don't think it was a serious thing, but I think that she recorded it to make it seem as if that's what it was, but it really wasn't. Guarantee it. Listen, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing. Nope, we good. We good. What's good, Tech Coach Ralph? What's good with you, big dog?
I think the other way of looking at it from the defense's point of view would be this is role playing of some kind. Well, Sharpe has adamantly denied all the allegations through his attorney, or one of his attorneys, Lanny Davis.
You think he a dirtbag? You think he a dirtbag? Or is he just a freak? You think he a dirtbag? You think he just, or is he just a freak though? Damn, hate is a strong word. Why you hate him? Why do you hate him though? I need to know, why do you hate him though? Hate is a very strong word.
Who called the lawsuit, quote, a classic definition of blackmail. And the former NFL star took to Instagram shortly after the lawsuit became public, posting a video where he called the allegations, quote, a shakedown, promised to fight back aggressively. Quote, what they're getting is sued, Sharpe declared in the since deleted post. And he even suggested that Buzbee planned to release edited portions of a sex tape and challenged him to release the full recording.
This is a shakedown. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
So now let's talk a little law here. So typically, defendants in lawsuits, in federal lawsuits, are given 21 days to respond with an answer once they're provided the summons and complaint. An answer being where they go through the allegations in the complaint line by line, paragraph by paragraph, and they admit, deny, say they don't have enough information. It's a response. And you know, what's interesting about this is, according to reporting from the New York Post, it doesn't seem that Sharpe has legally responded as of yet. Can't really confirm that, but that's what the reporting seems to suggest. And we'll talk more about that when we get into it. But first, I want to bring on a special guest to help me break down the latest, including what happened in this hearing. I am joined by sports attorney Dan Lust, professor, New York Law School. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for taking the time.
Always good to see you, Jesse. Happy to help.
Thanks. So what are the typical timelines for a high-profile civil lawsuit like this to progress from filing?
I just think a lot of these cats, once they get to a certain position, they get freaky. Well, I ain't gonna say they get freaky. They always been that way. You know what I'm saying? And then they just found, a lot of these shorties, they found a loophole. Let's be real. No Diddy. I think the nigga just a freak, bro. I think he just want to clap younger cheeks. Ain't nothing wrong with that. She of age, right? She of age. It is what it is, bro. He got caught slipping. I mean, he just wanted to clap cheeks, dog. And he apparently, you could tell, he old country bumpkin ass nigga. So he liked that race play type shit, especially little, you know what I'm saying, little white women. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. Big Cop Diesel motherfucker, you know, what's his name from the Green Mile? You know, Sus, you know, Sus, I like you and I want you. You know what I mean? So I mean, hey man, let that man live, bro. You just trying to get that man money.
To resolution. Am I right that it's 21 days to respond? I mean, is it typical? How does it work for people who don't know how civil lawsuits typically work?
Yeah, I mean, this is like law school basics, right? We're talking about how a lawsuit started, right? There's the filing of the complaint, there's the service of the complaint. So, you know, certainly depends on what court you're in, what state you're in, but generally, right, once you are served with the complaint, sometimes you have 21 days, sometimes you add some more time if it's personal service versus a mailing, right? But either way, once a commencement papers are started, you have a set amount of days to respond to that. Otherwise, you risk being held in default, either by plaintiff's counsel's motion or sometimes, right, particularly in federal court, something like sua sponte, right? And that's a fun Latin term where the judge themselves decides to hold you in default. So it is somewhat odd, and I know Jesse there's probably more questions than answers. We get to this hearing, and we have no response from defendant, but we also have a no-show from plaintiff. So it's not really your typical setting how we're starting this debate, and in this case, a very high-profile case. But I wouldn't say this is following the normal playbook, so to speak.
By the way, as we're talking about a big lawsuit like this, how could I not talk about experts in the litigation field? Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest injury law firm, our sponsor.
That's cool.
In the past few months,
this could
happen in a second, because I think it's interesting that apparently a lawyer didn't show up and why that might have happened. But going back to this, if it's real, if the reporting's true, and this was filed in April, I mean, we're already in July. We would say 21 days, 30 days. I didn't see anything. Yeah, I didn't see anything about him getting some sort of extension. He might have, but
you talking about Magic Johnson?
But what would be the reason to not prepare an answer? And would there be a situation where the court says we're going to allow the case to go forward? You know, you're not in default. Just file an answer as soon as you can. I mean, it just seems strange that based on the reporting, I think it was from the New York Post a few days ago, that they said there was no legal response yet. Can you give any insight into that?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I tell my clients, right, like the wheels of justice turn very slowly. And sometimes you don't really have an answer, right? And sometimes just, hey, what is stopping these attorneys from just kind of pushing the case out indefinitely? So behind the scenes, you know, judges are graded on their own rubrics about how quickly they're adjudicating cases.
Where do you see evil though? Where do you see evil? Where do you see evil at?
So no judge is in the business of just allowing a case to be, we'll say, extended indefinitely. And judges, part of their job, in addition to getting a decision on the merits or pushing the parties toward a settlement, is to push the parties in some direction and not just kind of lay out there. And Jesse, just I guess like strategically, when Lanny Davis came onto the case, he came in very aggressively, and
I just see a country bumpkin ass nigga. That's what I see. I see country bumpkin, deep south, muscle bound, race playing ass nigga. That's what I see. Who like white women. That's all I see. I'm looking. I see it. I just see a country bumpkin, wide nose, dark skinned individual who just like busting down the hose. That's what I see. Nah, ain't no devil in the smile. I don't see it.
I know we spent a lot of time in our last conversation talking about making public of certain settlement negotiations. Lanny Davis also said that Sharpe was going to go on the aggressive with his own defamation case. So, you know, I just from the initial posturing of the case, Sharpe is not taking an aggressive standpoint. Quite the contrary. He's just kind of playing wait and see, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, you know, if people have questions as to why Sharpe and his legal team, and I think there's some new lawyers involved now, it's certainly a changing of the strategy, which on day one was let's go 100 miles per hour, let's go on the offensive. And now you don't really file an answer. safe to say you're not even playing defense. You're just kind of doing nothing.
Is that typical in the sense, like you could say, okay, well, there's a change in circumstances. We're going to come off aggressive first, but things can change. It's not necessarily that there was a mistake made with that comment. I mean, there could be a situation where you say thing one day and then there's a change in circumstances the next, right? I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying. And I believe Lonnie Davis had talked about how Shannon Sharpe had rejected a settlement offer. And like you said, we talked about that. Was that wise to make that public? But I guess there could be maybe just a reason why there seems to be a change.
I mean, I'll give you my best guess, right? So it looks like Lanny Davis, for we'll say best case scenario, is one of now a number of lawyers involved on Sharpe's side. So it could be, right, you have new representation. They want to slow things down. They want to just change the gear, right? The other, just I want to throw this out there. And again, you and I are trying to make sense of what is pretty much a barren docket at this point. Why, and certainly on the plaintiff side, people are not, this is not a foreign concept. Plaintiff's attorneys in a case like this will generally work off of some contingency. So they'll get paid, assuming plaintiff side wins, right? They're not generally working off of a billable hour system. Very different on the defense side, where defense counsel are getting paid by the hour. Right?
Oh, word, he did. Oh, so he got in trouble a few times. We're dealing with what though? Like as far as rape allegations or dealing with younger chicks? Let me see. Has nothing to do with South. My baby's family is from the South, and his cousin is a Patriot. When Brady was playing, oh, trust me, there's a difference between South and country bumpkin South. I'm from the South. I ain't country bumpkin South. He a country bumpkin South. Those are two different Souths. Yeah, I'm Mobile, Alabama South. He backwood. Country in the wood, small, extremely small town country. That's a country bumpkin nigga there. They eat coon and gizzard and damn near anything they can find in the woods. Raccoon stew type nigga. No, that's a difference. That's a difference. It's a big difference.
Right, billable hours. So if Sharpe's side were to take an aggressive standpoint,
yeah, he the type of nigga, he'll pick up a log and carry that hole on his shoulder. That's a different type of country. You hear me? Kind of picks out different from gator wrestling. You feel me? So that's your way different.
Defense case. For the most part, again, we're not aware of what Sharpe's arrangement is here, but you'd be paying attorneys by the hour to take an aggressive standpoint on that defense. Now, hypothetically, Jesse, let's say the parties, since you and I last spoke, right at the end of April, beginning of May, whenever that was, let's say the parties have made some additional traction towards settlement. And as Sharpe's lawyer, Davis, said, at one point they were making some progress. So let's say over the last 2 months or so, they've made some progress. That would be a reason to slow down these court proceedings. So Sharpe's side is not racking up the legal hours, speeding a case along in terms of starting the process of discovery and getting a deposition schedule. And maybe they're having some real substantive momentum of moving this forward. That's also a plausible explanation. And it's not just changing of the guard. It could be some progress is being made behind the scenes that you and I wouldn't see.
Well, let's talk about it, because let's go to this hearing. So Judge Anna Albertson presided over what should have been a routine meeting for the civil suit that has obviously made national headlines since it was filed in April. But instead, the hearing became notable for who wasn't there. Any legal representation for the anonymous female plaintiff accusing the 57-year-old media personality of sexual assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Only one attorney appeared in that downtown Las Vegas courtroom. There was Robert DeMarco, who's representing Sharpe's legal team, which, by the way, is primarily composed of New York-based lawyers. And DeMarco explained to Judge Albertson that other attorneys on Sharpe's team they were currently handling.
I tell you what, though, that nigga nose big as a motherfucker, boy. Nigga take everybody oxygen that's around him. Shit.
Cases out of state, so he was there.
But I need to know what it is, though. Because I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you, Snow Bunny. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him. I don't. I just think he's just a freak. I gotta call a spade a spade. I think he's just a freak. Do I think he probably got an attitude problem? 100%. But nah, I don't think it's to the point that what people are making it. I really don't.
Now, the defense requested a 45-day extension to review the case's progress, which the judge granted, despite, and this was interesting, despite expressing surprise that Sharpe's team wasn't pushing for a quicker resolution, meaning like a settlement. So the next hearing is now scheduled for September 3rd. Dan, a lot to make here. How on earth is it possible that an attorney for the plaintiff doesn't show up? How unusual is that? Is there a significant reason why that would happen? I can't imagine it's strategic. You got to show up to court. What's going on here? Does it say, wait a second, maybe this, I mentioned the word stability.
Listen, I done hung out with a many of people before. I don't get that vibe from them. Don't.
Stability. Does it give you questions about the stability of this case?
Stability, viability. I mean, we can say that, but again, let's just play it like if a plaintiff's attorney doesn't show up to a case that they've commenced, right? They've made these big public statements, the case is out there, and you just no-show. And I understand maybe the attorneys are out of town, whatever else. There is, at least as far as I can tell, no tactical or strategic advantage to making yourself look bad in front of the judge, right? And we're not aware of this. It's possible there were conversations between the lawyers to maybe adjourn the appearance if you couldn't be available. It's possible. But strategically, I can't see the reason for not showing up if you're the plaintiff side. Now that's, I guess, step one, right?
And then the fact that the attorney didn't show up on the plaintiff side, that's not a good look. It's not a good look. That's not a good look.
I don't have the answer to that. It could be right in my second scenario I laid out for you. If they're getting close on settlement and they don't need to move things along with the judge, it's possible. And I guess, Jesse, before I move on to the other part of this, if the sides are working towards some type of resolution, neither side, and they think it's plausible, they're making some real progress, it behooves both sides to get a discovery schedule from the judge that would set up these set dates that they have to accommodate by in the exchange of discovery and whatnot. So that would kind of put the gas pedal on the commencement of the case in real settings with the judge. So that seems to line up that defense counsel would say, hey, no big deal, plaintiff's not here. Let's kick this out 45 days. Because alternatively, right, if there's no settlement progress and the parties aren't on the same page, if I'm accused, like Lanny Davis mentioned, of a completely frivolous case and this whole thing is defamatory, I am kicking and screaming that plaintiffs who commenced this case couldn't take the time to show up for the initial hearing. And we didn't hear that from Sharpe.
And that's my thing too. You're the plaintiff. You're the one who's posing this shit. Why the fuck aren't you showing up? The judge should have dismissed it right there. Like, nope, we ain't finna do that. You ain't finna waste my time. Nope, dismissed. Nope, over with. That's why I couldn't be a judge. I couldn't be a judge. I couldn't be a police officer. I think I'll let a lot of things slide. I ain't gonna hold you. If you wasted my time in court, I'm slamming the gravel. Bah, bah. Listen, I come here. I could have been doing something else right now. I could have been golfing. I could have been hooping. I could have been chilling. Could have been doing anything right now. But I'm here. And the lawyer chooses not to show up. You know what? All charges or all allegations, we just gonna cut it. We just gonna say, nah, we good. We gonna call it. And it's over with. Case dismissed. We gone. Case dismissed. Ain't got time to play with y'all, man. You wasting my goddamn time because you don't want to show up. Cause I was getting some head, getting some head. Yeah, bro.
Upside. So I think it's, again, trying to make sense of what we have here. It seems that both parties are on the same page, or else, defense counsel didn't create a clean record as to this inexcused absence from plaintiff side, which should have been cause for concern.
I think you make a really fair analysis of what might be going on. I agree with you. You think it was interesting that the judge even said, you want to push this out more? I mean, the judge even said, there seemed to be a surprise that it's not being resolved. Does that give you a sense of where the judge's head is regarding maybe what's happening behind the scenes, but also maybe the merits of the case or the substance of the case?
Well, yeah, and let's not just say it was kicked for 45 days is a long time, right? You go in front of federal judges and you ask for an extension, right? I was in court somewhat recently, and we asked for an extension of a preliminary conference, very similar to what's going on here. And the judge, federal court judge, said, no, not doing that. Come to court and explain to me why you need it kicked. So 45 days is a long period of time for the adjournment, too. It's not 7 days, it's not a week. It's not, hey, judge, we're working it, we'll come right back. Defense counsel pushing this out 45 days to make up for plaintiff's counsel not being there is also worth paying attention to. I would say maybe a week, 2 weeks,
that's
tops 30 days.
That's what I'm saying too, bro. Like, man, listen, bro, I'm finding all kind of ways. I'm like, look, bro, you in here because you trying to get to this man's pockets. You know how many cases I done been through, and I done seen situations like this. I done seen women like you, when men of this stature, men of this type of tier, you come in here talking about allegedly what happened and what this man did to you, all because he's starting to get some money and you want a piece of that. You want a piece of the pie. No, we ain't doing that today. No. All of it denied. You ain't getting nothing out of them. No, done. Bah, bah. Dismissed. Ain't happening.
45 days gives you a signal that the parties are in no rush to proceed on this. And again, I'm just looking at what Lanny Davis, the initial counsel for Sharpe, said on here. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to file for defamation. We haven't seen those, and we don't really see a pushing of the pedal in this case. So
But you know what's funny though? If Shannon Sharpe come back and then file a lawsuit and say for defamation and he win, that shit'd be funny as hell.
My spider sense is going off that the parties are in some type of communication working towards resolution. Again, not confirmed, but that's what the breadcrumbs seem to say.
You think it'd be advantageous for Shannon Sharpe to settle this lawsuit after the comments that were made, after his defense, after what he's being accused of? Do you think from a legal point of view and a career point of view and a PR point of view, it would make sense to settle the case?
It's tough to say, right?
Right.
There will be a public that goes out and says any type of settlement, even if it's a no pay settlement, even if there's no admission of guilt and there's some public statement that we settled it just to move on, there will be a good portion of the public that will view this as being an admission of guilt, even if it's not. So for Sharpe's career, that's very public focused and media focused. You wouldn't recommend a settlement on a case you have no liability on. But as we know from Sharpe's side, and this was, I remember, Jesse, you and I spoke about this initially, for Sharpe's side to admit that they themselves were offering millions of dollars to settle the case, that plaintiff's side was refusing, tells you, right, that they wanted to settle this. So it's not really what I think is, or what you think is wise or unwise. Sharpe's own legal representatives are out there saying that they have had previously millions of dollars in authority to settle the case. So he kind of has to eat that fact. And this is, again, me. I didn't understand the logic behind it at the time. That type of admission that we're trying to settle this case as a 7-figure plus valuation. And shortly after that lawyer made those statements public to the world, that's when Sharpe had to step aside from ESPN. So
Look at that thigh pocket up there. Look at that thigh pocket up there. Look at the thigh pocket up there. She still got a job. She's still working. Even after the shit that she said and did, she's still up there. Well, of course, not with FS1, but she's still out here working. She still got a job. That thing up there literally was saying that she was gonna lie. Was gonna lie and say that she was SA, bro. People were still rocking with her. Shit crazy. when you got some jugs and a pretty face, they're gonna rock with you regardless.
Even the entertainment of settlement seemed to distance himself from ESPN. So that's why we have very mixed messaging from Sharpe's camp as a whole. And I think what's best for his career would be to fight these tooth and nail on the merits, especially after your lawyer came out and said this was defamatory.
And think about who he's going up against, because let's talk for a second about the plaintiffs.
Nah, bro. Nah, she's not with FS1 anymore. I don't think she is. At least I haven't seen her on FS1.
Choice of attorney, which has added just another layer of intrigue to this case. We're talking about Tony Buzbee, gained national attention for representing more than 20 women in sexual misconduct cases against NFL quarterback Deshaun Watson. He's also filed lawsuits.
Come on, y'all. Give me a sec. Let me check something out. Let me check something out real quick. Give me a sec. What's her name? Oh, no, I was wrong. She still is with FS1. She's still with FS1. Being from South Florida, I remember listening to her on AM radio in the morning, driving work like 15 years ago. Never knew how she looked. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Georgia Tech. Yeah, she's still with FS1, bro. That shit wild. Even after lying, she's still with FS1. That is crazy. That's wild. But Shannon Sharpe had to dip. He had to leave off of the allegation. Boy, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I feel so strong about this. If you truly feel you have been violated, you need to call the police or go to a hospital. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now, not this whole, I don't know. I feel as if this, fuck how you feel. Is that what it is, bro? We can't keep going off of feeling because of how you feel because of something that happened. Nah, bro. Nah, fam. You know what happened. You know what went down. Go to the police immediately if the shit actually happened. Don't start coming back 10 years later, months later, after you already consented several fucking times and you was spreading the cheeks open and he was hip thrusting you the entire time, race plan and all that shit. Now all of a sudden you want to come out, oh, well, he was raping me and shit. I don't want to hear that shit, bro. I don't want to hear that no more. Then you got chicks like Joy Taylor who use their looks to get in certain areas and get in certain places. She spread the cheeks open to get thrusted down by certain people in a certain position, and then uses that to try to then play them or blackmail them. Like, well, if this wouldn't have happened, then I would have said that he SA'd me. Like, bro, what kind of shit is that? What type of shit is that? Why can't you just be a thought and just call it what it is? Like, look, bro, I was just being a freak. I wanted to get hip thrusted. Why can't you just be that and just leave it as what it is? You gonna get more respect that way. Now, look, man, I just wanted to spread the cheeks over. I just wanted him to get behind me and hip thrust me. Cool. Respect. I feel it. Do your thing, shorty. Everybody got needs. You an adult. Do your thing. Ain't nobody gonna pay attention to it. That shit crazy to me. I never understood that. Oh, but I don't want people to look at me like I'm a hoe. What shit? You was a hoe for a night. Call it what it is. It is what it is. It felt good. You had a good time. You weren't there for a long time. You were just there for a good time. Call it for what it is, bro. Just call it for what it is.
Lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, famously pursued a then dropped case against Jay-Z that resulted in the rapper countersuing. And on his Instagram announcing the Sharpe lawsuit, Buzbee had written, "I'm extremely proud to represent Jane Doe. It takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing this case in court." But Buzbee's absence at the July 9th hearing seemed...
Look at this nigga here.
seemingly without an explanation or local counsel appearing on his behalf. I mean, this is just based on what we're seeing in the reporting. Maybe there's something else going on as we're talking about. It certainly could raise eyebrows. So Dan, when you think about his involvement in this case, how does that factor everything in?
Well, it's funny you said that, right? Like, I'm looking forward to pressing this case. And again, we're talking about what Sharpe's representative said on day one, what they're doing today. Busby is saying, I'm looking forward to
see what in Hold the Devil. I mean, I ain't gonna possibly shit. It could be
pursuing. And on his Instagram, announcing in the reporting, maybe there's something else going on as we're talking about. It certainly could raise eyebrows. So Dan, when you think about his involvement in this case, how does that factor everything in?
Well, it's funny you said that, right? Like, I'm looking forward to pressing this case. And again, we're talking about what Sharpe's representative said on day one, what they're doing today. Busby is saying, I'm looking forward to pressing this case. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, impossible to press the case if you don't show up to court and the case gets kicked.
I didn't even need to go to New York Law School to know that. Yep.
Yeah. Did you see my eyebrows? They're raised. They're very high. They're not like Dwayne The Rock Johnson raised, but they're up here. I mean, to put it bluntly, if you don't show up for court and it becomes a public record that you didn't show up to court, and you as the client are not aware that your lawyer planned not to show up for court, if there was some settlement, it is seemingly a fireable offense. Like, your job is to advance the case to get me paid, and you didn't show up. So, if Busby is off the case, right? If we see some type of substitution of counsel on the record, that would be very interesting. But the fact that we have not yet, and again, it's only been a couple of days since it happened, tells you that this was probably some coordinated effort. Again,
all right. So I'm gonna stop it there. Well, so what do y'all think is gonna happen? So what since Busby decided not to show up, and now they gotta wait 45 days, what do y'all think is gonna happen? I'm gonna call it now. Shorty ain't getting shit. They might, okay, let me rephrase that. They might settle. They might settle. They might. That's a huge might. They might settle. But I hope she don't get shit. I hope she don't get shit. And I don't think and if they do, she gonna settle, but I don't think she gonna get nothing. I don't. I could be wrong. And then Shannon Sharpe gonna come back and sue their ass for defamation and gonna get everything up out of them. And he gonna be even richer. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Not a damn thing. You feel me, Pam? You feel me? I'm telling you, not a damn thing. No telling the way the judges move these days. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Ain't no telling. We just gonna have to figure it out. You feel me? You're gonna have to figure it out. Just gonna have to figure it out. What he says that looks fade, alizations are forever, and Tiffany in your voice. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. Jail time. You think he'll get jail time? Nah, I don't think he gonna get no jail time. I don't think he gonna see jail. He ain't gonna see jail time. Nope. I don't think he gonna see jail time. I don't think so, bro. Nah, I don't think he gonna see no jail time. Because it's already not looking good. It's already not looking good. I don't think nothing gonna happen. Oh, she needs jail time, 1,000% for lying. That, you know what? I think they need to start doing that. They need to start doing it. If they can't, we can't keep taking people's word. Oh, well, they did this. They did. Nope. I need to show the what you call it? I need to see the test kit. I need to see when you filed the report. How long did it take you to file the report? I need to see all of that. If it ain't within this certain time frame, we throwing that shit out. We throwing it out. Because there are too many people getting caught up in these bullshit situations because of Shorty. She was hoeing around. She wanted to be a 304 for the night, but then when a nigga goes to her or he didn't give her the attention that she thought that she deserved or the attention that she wanted, and he goes to her ass, and all of a sudden she feels some type of way. She feel, oh, I just feel so used. I feel like a piece of meat. Well, you were for the night. It is what it is. You were just there for a good time, not a long time. It is what it is. You gotta live with it. But guess what? You consented to it. You decided to lay down with him. Live with it, bro. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with getting buzzed down. It ain't nothing wrong with it. If you want to be a hoe for a day, cool, do it. Do your thing. Have fun. Enjoy it. Get your shit off. Do what you got to do. But then don't come back and try to, don't then come back and then try to say, you know what? I don't know. I felt as if, I just don't know. He touched me wrong. Nah, I don't want to hear that shit. You knew what you was doing. You knew what the fuck you were doing. Listen, man, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure y'all hit that bell notification. And if you want to support the channel, the link is in the comments on the Cash App. And listen,